بسم الله الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه ومن والاه. اللهم لا علم لنا إلا ما علمتنا إنك أنت العليم الحكيم. اللهم علمنا ما ينفعنا وانفعنا بما علمتنا وزدنا علما وأرنا الحق حقا وارزقنا اتباعه وأرنا الباطل باطلا وارزقنا اجتنابه وادخلنا برحمتك في عبادك الصالحين آمين يا رب العالمين. Welcome everybody to part 2 of our Fiqh on Islamic Wills. We are reading from the primer, the beginner textbook Akhsar al-Mukhtasarat, which is a Hanbali Fiqh book, and we have reached, alhamdulillah, we have finished more than half of the book, and we are finishing the chapter on Islamic Wills. And let's start with some review. So last week we kind of introduced the topic, and we talked about some definitions and some we stopped, I think, we stopped about where you take out the money for the debts and for the zakah and for the Hajj. So just some questions. I have some chocolate here, some premium chocolate for people who answer, inshallah. I know the sisters won't be able to participate, but inshallah we'll have a divider next week. They can come up. But for the husbands, you can take one for your wife, inshallah. So the first question, this is all from the material we covered last week. These are true or false, yani. So the first one, just raise your hand. A wasiyya governs the fixed inheritance shares that go to family members after death. True or false? Put your hand. You gotta put your hand. You can't. I can't give everybody chocolate. Yeah, it doesn't cover the inheritance, right? It covers what comes out before the inheritance. Tamam? طيب. Question 2. The primary Quranic evidence for Wasiyya is found in Surah Al-Baqarah, verse 180. True or false? We mentioned last week.
Well, what's the verse?
Huh? We mentioned we mentioned the surah too. And we literally just read it. Naam? True. We literally just read it now. Naam. Somebody corrected me, so whoever corrected me, where's the... خلاص. طيب جميل. نعم. كتب عليكم. When a person dies, their debts must be paid from the estate before the will is executed. نعم شيخ أحمد. Huh? True? Huh? True. يلا. Inshallah. I don't know if I can throw that far. Not bad. طيب. Bismillah. Number 4. You can eat it here, by the way, if you want. Say Bismillah. طيب. A person may leave up to 1/2 of their estate to non-inheriting parties in their will. False. Wow. Huh? أحسنت. And what was the recommended by the fuqaha? A fifth, صح? Yeah. Anybody remember why they said 5th? Huh? Because of a verse. Well, Abu Bakr said because of the verse in Surah Al-Anfal, yeah? فَأَنَّ اللَّهِ خُمُسَهُ. نعم. جميل. Even the popular, it's people think the 3rd is the max, the 5th, obviously if you know your fractions, the 5th is bigger than 3rd or smaller? Smaller? Okay. Some people get trauma from fractions. طيب. Jamil. Hamza, number 5, the executor, Al-Musa Ilayhi, is permitted to be a non-Muslim if appointed by a Muslim testator. Al-Musi. True or false? Huh? False. 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 You cannot. So you cannot make your executor as a Muslim a non-Muslim unless ما في any Muslims. Yeah, unless there is no Muslims. I'm gonna hit you. Be careful. Okay. طيب. Next one. It is makruh to leave a bequest, a will, to a wealthy person while one's own heirs are in need. You have to put your hand up. تفضل. False. It is makruh to leave. نعم. True. أحسنت. You said true or false? He said false. So I take it. Do you understand the question? It is makruh to leave a will to a wealthy person while one's, it's saying that if you have poor offsprings, tamam, you shouldn't give a lot of money to a wealthy person, because who's awla? Who deserves it more? And that's what Nabi Sallam told. No, it's not haram. Where do we get tahrim? لا احنا we understand from you can dim it a bit if you want. Do you know how to dim it? You can dim it just a little bit. You don't have to turn it off. Yeah, something like that. Yeah. طيب. Yeah, from the hadith of Sa'd ibn Waqqas, we get the indication of karaha. يعني. That's what the ulama got out of it. Yeah. Yeah, he said والثلث والثلث كثير. And then he علل why, he mentioned why. He said it's better that you leave money for your heirs rather than them begging and asking for money. طيب. If specific property named in a will is destroyed before the testator's death, the bequest is invalidated. We didn't cover this. We're going to cover it today. I just put it there to see if someone read ahead. Do you understand the question? If a specific property named in a will, I said this car, my Honda Civic, okay, is going to Adib. And then I die and the car crashes or something, or it's burnt or something like that. Yeah, is he going to get a car or no? No. Huh? No? We don't go buy a car from the estate? No. No? طيب. Jamil. Sahih. So if a specific property named in a will is destroyed before the bequest is invalidated, sahih. That's true. Nah.
I think أنا نسيت English بس لو هي مسمى بعينها صح؟
Yeah, بالعين. Yeah, specific item.
لكن لو هو مثلا وصى إنه والله فلان له سيارة لما أموت حتى لو مش سيارتي بياخذ سيارة ثانية. Yeah, it has to be specific. It has to be that.
Yes, it has to be specific. Nah. Ahsant. Yeah, it has to be something specific. If it's general, that's something else. Ahsant. That's a good. And that's what we mentioned. It has to be specific. I don't know who answered. سعد. طيب خلاص يلا سعد. It's good chocolate, bro. See, right to your hand, inshallah. طيب. We talked about the difference between hiba and wasiyya. So it says here, a hiba, gift, can be taken back by the giver at any time, even after the recipient has taken possession. تفضل شيخ. False. صح. You can't. A hiba, once you give a hiba, خلاص. Al-Wasiyya, on the other hand, on the Wasiyya, if I write the Wasiyya and then I change my mind, خلاص, right? Can I change my mind after I die? No, خلاص, you're dead. خلاص. الله يرحمك. طيب. Al-Musa له, okay? Al-Musa له is the Arabic term for the executor of the will. يا جماعة, you all fail your test. Kinan. False. أحسنت. See, mashallah. Look at the adab. Hey, come. Catch. Oh, close. طيب, the last one. If a deceased person owed Hajj funds, if a deceased person owed Hajj, he was supposed to do Hajj, funds must be taken from the estate to hire someone to perform it before the will is executed. Now, تفضل, I'll give you a second chance. True, أحسنت. You really wanted the chocolate, خلاص. I don't know if that's going to make it. طيب, alhamdulillah. طيب, جميل. Good.
I have a question.
تفضل, نعم.
ماذا عن القضاء؟ القضاء.
What about قضاء?
مثلا شخص لا يستطيع صوم رمضان.
Okay. So the brother's asking about qada. If he had any qada, or حتى لو عنده, so if someone dies and he owes, right? He owes fasts, right? Or he did شو بسموها? What's the oath called? Astaghfirullah, I can't remember. لا مش يمين. لا مش يمين. Nether, عفوا, nether, جزاك الله خير. If he does a nether, Nadhr is like when you kind of like make a promise to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. مثلا if you get me a job, I'm gonna fast 100 days. You have to fast. That's a dain. You have to do it. Yeah, you should write those in your will, and someone should make them up for you. This is the Hanbali opinion. There's some other ulama that they said no. Like I believe Imam Abu Hanifa and the madhhab specifically. They said the dain of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala مبني على العفو والمغفرة. Okay, and ديون بني آدم مبنية على المشاحنة just people want their rights. Nobody's zakat, of course, yeah, zakat. Yeah, ذكرنا last week we talked about zakat والحج والديون, like all those. Yeah, zakat حق الفقراء. The money is حق الفقراء. It's the money is supposed to go to the فقراء. صح? So it is the حق of the فقراء. But this is from the arkan of Islam. It's a major sin. Someone dies, it doesn't pay it. It's a big dain on that person. And his inheritance will have to know, if he paid zakat or not, and they will have to calculate. And these days it's not too hard. You can open bank accounts and figure it out. It's not too hard. طيب, Jamil, let's go. So the goal today, inshallah, we want to finish. I forgot my book, so I'm going to be reading from the phone. Okay, so if I'm squinting, or the book I have with me, it's available online, by the way. تفضل. So owing a Hajj, it means you were able to do it, but you didn't. If you were not able to do it, it was never wajib on you. صح? Everybody understand? Hajj is one of the pillars of Islam. Is it possible that a Muslim will die and it was never wajib on him? Yeah, very possible. Especially now with these prices, right? Many people, it will not be wajib on them. And it's not, I'm more comfortable with the opinion that you shouldn't take a loan to go. Some people have take loans and go to Hajj. I believe that you shouldn't. It's not wajib on you. Why are you going to put yourself in a difficult situation? In a mashaqqa, and maybe that debt is going to cause you to do haram, some riba or some huquq or some. Yeah.
You mentioned it's not wajib on you as in you're not financially capable.
If you're not financially physical, remember, and we talked in the kitab al-Hajj that you have to be. There were some conditions. We said you have to be physically able. We said you have to be financially able to go to the trip, and we also said you have to be financially able to leave food and money, etc., for your dependents, right? طبعا back then he's gone for 10 months. You have to leave enough, like an allowance for 10 months. Here, okay, you're gone for 3 weeks. You make sure you have allowance for them, etc.
But you mentioned, maybe I'm confusing it. If they're physically incapable, but they're financially capable,
Yeah, so if they're physically good, if they're physically unable, but they're financially able, what's their obligation? To appoint someone. Yeah, ahsant. That's a very good point. Yeah, you have to appoint someone. Naam? Yeah, he would have owed. And if he was physically unable and he never hired anybody to do it, then he would have been someone who died owing Hajj. Yeah, it comes out of his estate. Ahsant. Huh?
The problem is when you have the money and during that time, let's say you have the money and then now you don't have the money and you passed away. So he still.
The question here, we're going to like a Hajj Q&A because Hajj is coming. Anybody going to Hajj here? If there's no hands, khalas, I'm not going to answer it. You're going to Hajj, inshallah, khalas, we'll answer it. His question is good. He's saying, if someone had money and physical ability, and right now he's able to go to Hajj, but he decided that he's going to, I don't know, he's going to go to visit his family in Libya. And khalas, now he's not able. Does it count that if he dies now, does he owe Hajj? Well, this is a tough question. I'm not sure. What do you guys think? My intuition is no, he doesn't, but I'd have to check. Allahu alam. Yeah. Who would know, yani? I mean, he would have to write it in his Wasiyya. But Allah Alam, I don't know. I'm not sure. ما أدري. It's a good question. We can look it up, inshallah. طيب, can we start? Yalla, we can start, inshallah. طيب. So we discussed some of the things. Yeah. So what can and cannot be included in the Wasiyya? So let's read. So let's read from the book, inshallah. So يقول المؤلف رحمه الله وتصح يعني it's valid وتصح لعبده بمشاع كثلث. Al-abd is the slave. So if someone has a slave, I know people are saying we don't have slaves, but they're probably going to come back. But وتصح لعبده, okay, بمشاع كثلث. So you can give. What's the problem here? The abd, the key fact you have to understand about the slave is that the abd cannot what? Cannot what? Yeah, ما يقدر يملك. He can't own anything. So if you leave a wasiyah, he can't own it. He's owned, right? So it goes back to the owner. تمام? فwhat they say here, وتصح لعبده بمشاع كثلث. You can leave something for your abd بمشاع. If you remember the word مشاع, like a proportion or a fraction. Okay? So you can leave like a proportion or a fraction كثلث, like a third. Okay? ويعتق منه بقدره. Okay? ويعتق منه بقدره. إيش يعني؟ يعني you leave مثلا, you say I'm going to leave مثلا a third of my estate to my abd, Abdul Rahman. Okay? That money is used to free him. Okay? He has a price on the market. And if that money is exactly what his cost is, it will free him. طيب. What if it's more? So he says here, فإن فضل شيء, فضل يعني زاد, فإن فضل شيء أخذه. من أخذه? Who takes it? Yeah, Abdul Rahman, the slave. I left him a wasiyah. That wasiyah was enough to free him. Okay, alhamdulillah, he got freed, but there's an extra $10,000. Who takes it? He takes it. MashaAllah. So he's freed and he has $10,000. Okay, but what if it's less? خلاص, a portion of him is free, and there's a portion that's not free. And when we get to Kitab al-Itq after the Fara'id, we can talk about how the slaves actually Islam opened the door for them to free themselves by working for their masters. طيب جميل. وبحمل ولحمل تحقق وجوده. الحمل is okay. So وبحمل يعني while someone is pregnant, and for the pregnant and for the child, يعني for the janeen, يعني for the high, تحقق وجوده. Once you can confirm that he's there, the child is there. يعني we say 4 months, the ruh is there and the bump is there, and now we have ultrasounds and all those things, so we can kind of for sure know. Yeah, you can write a wasiyah. So if someone is pregnant, okay, a wasiyah can be written for them. And the wasiyah can be written for the baby inside. For the baby inside, once we can confirm that they are alive and fine. Jamil. لا, and then he says لا لكنيسة. What's a kanisa? Church. Okay, so can you leave a wasiyah for a church? No, he says no. وبيت نار. Firehouse or house of fire. What's a house of fire? يعني the place of worship for the majus, the fire worshippers. تمام. Okay. He says here وكتب التوراة, and the places like والإنجيل والتوراة والإنجيل ونحوها, and places that like they write the Torah and the Injil. So basically ونحوها meaning anything that does anything haram, right? Anything that does anything haram, right? So you cannot leave a wasiyah for the bar down the street. You cannot leave a wasiyah for I don't know. What's for McDonald's? I don't know. Yeah, whatever. Anything that is impermissible or haram, then it would be impermissible to leave a wasiyah for it. And then he says, وتصح, and it's valid بمجهول ومعدوم وبما لا يقدر على تسليمه. This is interesting. It's valid for majhul. Majhul, something that is, you don't know what it is. Majhul, right? Unknown. ومعدوم, something that is like unfound, lost, right? معدوم, or it's not there. It doesn't exist right there, right now. وَبِمَا لَا يُقْدَرُ عَلَى تَسْلِيمِهِ, and something that you are not even able to give right now, on the spot. طبعا, if you remember in buyu' we said that you have to have these things. You cannot sell something that is ma'doom, that's not there. Okay, I'm going to sell you a fish that's going to be born in 10 years. You can't do that. It doesn't exist. Okay, and you cannot sell something that is majhul, right? And that's why al-gharar, right? Whatever you hit with the rock, it's yours, right? It's majhul, like there's, okay. وَبِمَا لَا يُقْدَرُ عَلَى تَسْلِيمِ, and something that you cannot give. يعني something is on the other side of the world and you cannot get to it, you cannot sell that. But here, the fuqaha, they say that the wasiyya is closer to the fara'id than the transactions. It's closer to the fara'id than the transactions, and the fara'id are much more flexible. Let's read. So, what is valid? What is valid to include? So, freeing a slave in proportion, musha'an, okay, to the fraction of wealth left to them. Tamam, we talked about that. So that's valid. You can do that for your slave. Leaving wealth for an unborn baby, provided the pregnancy already exists at the time of writing. And wasiyya or bequests, where the amount, location, or delivery method is unknown. Okay, this is the one I just mentioned now, right? لمعدوم ومجهول وما لا يقدر على تسليمه. Okay, so the wasiyya, you can see it's much more flexible. Okay, it's much more flexible. طيب. And then what's not valid? Giving to a church, fire worship temple, right, or any place of shirk, giving funds to publish the Torah or Injil, and anything that is similar to that. Giving anything. This is something that the Sheikh Ahmed al-Qaim in his footnotes, he mentioned. This is also another thing. Giving anything to a dead person. Can you give a wasiyah to a dead person? He's dead. And giving to any place associated with sin. Yeah, any place that is associated with sin. That it's known that they're associated with sin. You cannot write a wasiyah for them.
Sorry.
تفضل.
The dead person. What if he has an association under his name? Like, for example, a celebrity, like Muhammad Ali Clive, for example. He has a business under his name and he's dead for a few years now. Can I write a wasiyah to his foundation? Or are there two different separate identities?
His question is, can I write a wasiyah for a foundation? But the foundation is not owned by him now. صح? He's saying there's a person who had a foundation, he died, صح? He died.
But it runs kind of his business, like.
No, it's under, the foundation is under his name, بس هو مات, توفى, صح? توفي. طيب, it moved to somebody else. Somebody else owns it now. One of the heirs owns it, or whoever he yeah. Yeah, you can. It's an organization. To a charity, you're allowed to. Okay, you're allowed to give to a charity, to an organization. ما في مشكلة. No. طيب. Now the next thing we want to talk about, he says here, وما حدث بعد الوصية. What happens after the wasiyah? So, okay, let's say, here's what he's talking about. He's saying, I'm gonna leave a third of my estate, okay, for my neighbor Ahmed, okay, my neighbor Ahmed. طيب, it was, I don't know, $10,000, okay. This $10,000, it grew. Okay, it grew to like, I don't know, $15,000, $20,000. What happens now? So the third now, instead of 10, it's 20,000. When I wrote it was 10. Because I put a fraction, a proportion, right? Does he get what does he get? He gets the amount that was the fraction, the amount when I wrote it, or the fraction when I die?
When I die.
Huh?
When I die.
Ahsant, yeah. So if the money increases, the third becomes a bigger number, then you get a bigger portion. تمام? So that's why he says وما حدث بعد الوصية يدخل فيها. Okay, يدخل فيها يعني يدخل في الوصية. وتبطل بتلف معين وصي به. المعين is something that's specific. This is the question that was asked in the beginning. I told you guys we didn't cover it. وتبطل بالتلف يعني if something that is معين, specific. Okay, my MacBook Pro, I put it as a wasiyah to my cousin. Okay, and then right before I died, it broke. my daughter spilled coffee on it, and it's on the Wasiyya. Now he gets he's contacted. Oh, listen, the laptop is for you, okay? And then he finds out, he gets the laptop, and he smells the coffee. It's not turning on. Okay, so can he go back and be like, okay, take out from the estate and buy me a MacBook Pro? Khalas, no. So if something specific is mentioned in the Wasiyya and it's destroyed for whatever reason, then it's gone. Khalas. So one of you is going to ask, well, what if it was destroyed because of a taqsir or tafreet from the people who have it? What do you guys think?
No.
After he died?
Yeah, he died. Because this is an amana, right? Technically. It's amana. And these guys, they left, instead of putting, the car was in the garage. And in the Wasiyya, he said, the car is in the garage. And then they go leave it outside unlocked. Yeah, it's possible, yeah. I think the Qadi might say that you are responsible if there's a bayyinah, if there's a proof. Otherwise, no. Allah.
What if he has two of the same thing? One of them, and he...
Exactly 200 Civics, 157,000 kilometers with the same scratch on the left side. في VIN number صح خلاص ما.
I have two MacBook Pros.
Okay.
And I write to my...
But the MacBook Pro has an ID, he will put the ID.
Oh, I have to put the ID?
No, I'm saying if you have that many MacBook Pros, make sure you put the ID on your Wasiyya. Or maybe he says one of my MacBook Pros. Yeah, عادي. One of them breaks, he takes the other one. If he says one of my MacBook Pros, one of them breaks, he takes the other one.
What I'm trying to say is, what if he assigns those two MacBooks to two different individuals? Like, I have two MacBook Pros.
So obviously he made it specific. He's saying, what if he has two MacBook Pros and he assigned each one to two different individuals? So he will say that the blue one is for Abdullah and the red one is for Ahmed.
Oh, it has to be.
Yeah, obviously specific. Otherwise, we're going to talk about if something is not clear, then they cannot execute it. طيب. And then he says, وَإِنْ وَصَّى بِمِثْلِ. What's the time? طيب. We'll finish inshallah. Because I want to go through the wasiyah with you guys. وَإِنْ وَصَّى بِمِثْلِ نَصِيبِ وَارِثٍ. Okay, that's coming up. So yeah, we said rule 1, if the estate grows after the will is written, the bequest is calculated based on the estate at the time of death. That's what we said, okay? So not at the time of the writing the will. So at the time of writing the will, the third was 10,000. That's not what he's going to get. What if it becomes less? He will take less. Sah? He will take less. Okay? The same rule. Okay? Any increase in wealth is added to the estate and the beneficiary's share increases accordingly. Tamam? So example, Ahmed wills 1/3 of his wealth to his friend Zayd. At the time of writing, so Ahmed's the one giving here, not receiving. Okay. Ahmed wills 1/3 to his wealth to his friend Zayd. At the time of writing, Ahmed had 30,000. So Zayd would get how much? 10,000. Tamam? By the time Ahmed died, his wealth had grown to 75,000. Allahu Akbar. So Zayd now gets how much? 25,000. Yeah, so always make dua for your friend's wealth. Might come back to you. طيب. Next one. Yeah, the second rule said if specific property named in the will is destroyed. Yeah, we said if a specific item named in the will is destroyed before the testator's death, the Musa yani, that portion of the will is cancelled and the beneficiary receives nothing for that item, right? You don't go take it from the estate and buy another car or buy another laptop. Tamam? So Ahmed wills his Honda Civic to Zayd. The car is wrecked and destroyed before Ahmed dies. That part of the will is cancelled and Zayd receives nothing. طيب. Why he said here before he died? Before Ahmed dies. The car broke before Ahmed died. What happens if the car breaks after Ahmed dies? That's what I was talking about. It's an amana now. So Ahmed dies now. If the car breaks for the fault of the executor or the people who are taking care of the estate, then they might be at fault. Okay? But if it's a natural disaster, okay, then yeah. Tough luck. طيب. Okay, so let's talk about shares. So now he says, وَإِنْ وَصَّى بِمِثْلِ نَصِيبِ وَارِثٍ مُعَيَّنٍ فَلَهُ مِثْلُهُ مَضْمُومًا إِلَى الْمَسْأَلَةِ. What's he talking about here? وَإِنْ وَصَّى بِمِثْلِ نَصِيبِ وَارِثٍ مُعَيَّنٍ. Al-warith is the heir, the inheritors. So if he says, مثلا, I want to give my cousin Abdullah 1/3, which is the wasiyya, okay, the maximum wasiyya, or I want to give him a portion just like my sons. I want to give him a portion just like my sons. The son gets how much? So double the. Okay, so let's say he has 2 sons.
Each one will get half.
So if he has 2 sons and he wants to give his cousin a third, a portion like his sons, okay, it's going to be split up in how many? In 3. Okay, so then he will get a third, exactly a third. But what if he has? This is going to fara'id. Inshallah, when we get to fara'id, you will. What if he has? Let's say he wants to give him a same portion as his daughter. So he says, I want to give my cousin Abdullah the same portion as my daughter. He has 1 daughter and 2 sons.
So now it's a
So now each son will get like 2 daughters.
So one person at a time. Who's gonna?
So it'll be divided by 6. Each son gets a share of 2 daughters.
So we said there's 2 sons,
Yeah.
1 daughter.
So yeah, and him and the al-Musa Ilayhi.
Yeah, who's gonna get he's gonna get a share like a daughter.
So it will be divided by 6. Each son will get the share of 2 daughters, and the 1 share will go to the daughter.
Ahsan. So each son will get 2, and the girls, or not the girls, 1 girl will get 1, and the guy who's getting the same as the girl is getting 1. So it'll be out of 6, right? He'll get a 6th. Jameel, good. This is fara'id. I told you guys, when we do fara'id, you're gonna have to bring some paper and pencil. طيب, Jameel, so that's what he's saying here, okay? مضمومة إلى المسألة يعني depending on the مسألة. And then he says وبمثل نصيب أحد ورثته له مثل ما لأقلهم. Okay, so if he says I want to give him from my wasiyah like the nasib of any of the waratha, I want to give him a portion like any of my heirs. طب مشكلة هلا, the heirs could be the son, the daughter, the high. But they say we go with the least. This is safer and better for the heirs. Tamam, there's no ill feelings. We go with the least. Does that make sense? So if there's a 4th and a 6th and an 8th, I don't know if that's possible, but let's just assume there's a 4th and a 6th and an 8th. What's he gonna get? An 8th. Tamam, he's gonna get an 8th. And then he says وبسهم من ماله له سدس. If he says له سهم, سهم in Arabic means what? Yeah, but in Arabic سهم usually it means a 6th. If you go look in the kutub al-lugha يعني, usually when you say سهم they mean 6th. So that's what he says here. He will get a sudus. Okay, so if he says in his wasiyah he gets a sahm, I don't know if there's an English word for that, but in Arabic if you say sahm it means a 6th. Okay, وبشيء أو حظ أو جزء يعطيه الوارث ما شاء. If he writes, he gets a something, he gets a portion, he gets a piece of the cake. I don't know, some random words that is not clear. Okay, then as long as he gets something, then wafa bil wasiyah. So then who's gonna decide? The executor. The executor will be like, خلاص, he said shay'in, خلاص, here's $1. Toka Allah. Jazakallah khair. You know, that's the fault of the you know, the person who wrote the wasiyah. So we said the sahm. If someone wills a sahm of their wealth without specifying the amount, the recipient receives 1/6, because the sahm linguistically means 1/6 in Arabic. We talked about matching an inheritor's share. If a testator, the wasi, wills that a friend receive the same as one of my sons, and there are 2 sons, the estate is split in 3. Each son and the friend receive equal shares. Right? We mentioned that. Friend gets 1/3. Matching the least inheritor. If a testator wills the same as any of my inheritors without naming one, the friend receives the same as the inheritor with the smallest share. We just mentioned that. So example, we have sons and daughters. Friend gets the daughter's share. If they're sons and daughters, okay, and he said, he gets, one of the shares of my heirs, then he gets the least one, which is the daughter. What if it's something vague? If a testator says, give so and so something or a piece without specifying, the inheritors may give that person literally anything, even $1. Okay? طيب. Jameel, just quickly review, because we're going to talk about one of these people. So we said Al-Musi is the one who writes the will, the testator. Al-Musa Bihi is the actual wasiyah, right? The actual wealth. Al-Musa Lahu is the one that you're writing for. Right? I'm writing for Abdullah to give him a 5th. That's Al-Musa Lahu. Wal-Musa Ilayhi, these are the two that people confuse. Al-Musa Ilayhi is who? The executor. Okay, yani I'm choosing Adib to be the executor of he's the one that's gonna take over everything and actually distribute. Okay, he has the biggest job, and that's why when we talk about picking your executor, that's the toughest decision. So this takes us to the part of the executor, right? Now we go to the part of the executor. طيب. So فصل في الموصى إليه في الموصى إليه. So al-Musa Ilayhi is the executor, the person appointed to carry out the will. We're going to talk about him now. This is probably the most important person when we're talking about the Wasiyya. So he says here يصح الإيصاء إلى كل مسلم مكلف رشيد عدل ولو ظاهرا ومن كافر إلى مسلم وعدل في دينه. So the first thing he says the conditions of the executor. Inta now you want to choose an executor. So you have to make sure that he is qualified, right? I mean, you're putting a big trust in this person. So the fuqaha, they mention he has to be, number one, Muslim. Okay, طيب. He has to be, number two, Muslim. Okay. Number two, he has to be mukallaf. Mukallaf يعني بالغ عاقل. بالغ عاقل, right? He's mature and he's sane. So you cannot pick your 12-year-old cousin as your executor. He's not baligh, right? There's no 12-year-old that's baligh, right? I mean, to my information, maybe. طيب. And then he says has to be someone who is Rashid. We said Rashid, okay. وإن آنست منهم رشدا, okay. Rashid يعني someone who's financially mature, knows how to deal with money, okay, capable of handling wealth responsibly, not foolishly. And the last one is adl. ولو ظاهرا, he says, even if it's like outwardly, like nobody can 100% tell if someone is just adl, right? So these are the four conditions: Muslim, mukallaf, Rashid, and adlin, ولو ظاهرا. And then he says, a disbeliever, let me just finish this one. A disbeliever may appoint a Muslim executor. Okay, so a disbeliever may appoint a Muslim. ما في مشكلة. This is valid because the Muslim is adl, right? So long as nothing in the will violates Islamic law. Yeah. So this is the condition. As long as he's not telling you distribute my alcohol to fulan and fulan and fulan, then that's not your business. You're not going to accept that. The reverse, the Muslim appointing a non-Muslim, is not valid. So you should not be putting a non-Muslim as an executor. I don't care if you don't like your cousin or your wife or your high. You should put a Muslim unless there's no Muslims around you. A disbeliever may also appoint another disbeliever. So kafirin ila Muslim wa ila adlin fi dini. Okay, and also a kafir can give to a just person in his deen. تمام. طيب تفضل, you had a question?
Those requirements at the time of writing the Wasiyya or executing the Wasiyya? What if someone is a Muslim when I wrote it, but then he
Became a kafir.
changed his deen?
You guys have good questions today, mashallah. That's a good question, wallah. He's saying, I wrote that the executor is going to be, the Musa Ilayhi is going to be Musa. Okay? The Musa Ilayhi is going to be Musa. So Musa is a Muslim now. Okay? After I die, he becomes a non-Muslim. What are we going to do? طبعا if he leaves Islam before the Wasiyya, then he has, it's invalid. He has to change it. And there's a second person. So I'll show you guys. We have when we write the Wasiyya, we will write the executor is Fulan, okay, and then we'll say in case something happens to Fulan, we put another person. So I think what will happen here is that he will be invalid, and then the next person will be the executor. I think it's mentioned in the Wasiyya if someone dies or leaves Islam or something.
And what about the other way around? What if I want the executor to be one of my kids who is still not bad at the time? But what if, like, for example, someone has cancer and the doctor says you're going to die in a year, and his elder son at the time is not bad, but is expected to be bad within a year? What would happen?
Yeah, if he becomes baligh, then he will take it. If not, the second person will take it. Same thing.
I could write him down.
Sure, yeah, ما في مشكلة. ما في مشكلة, yeah, because we said in the Wasiyya المجهول والمعدوم it's very flexible, the Wasiyya, right? But you will have a second person. You will have a second person in case your son doesn't hit puberty before he dies.
Those qualifications.
Yeah, qualifications.
Agreement at the time of execution, not at the time of writing.
He's asking if these conditions. No, I think the mu'allaf here is actually. Let's step back for a second. The mu'allaf here is saying that when you choose an executor, they have to have these qualities. They have to. Naam, صح. Good. It's good that you brought it back. Yes, because he's saying that these conditions have to be there when you are picking. نعم. لكل مسلم مكلف رشيد عدل ولو ظاهرا. طيب. And then he says ولا يصح إلا في معلوم يملك الموصي فعله. طيب. He's saying now that okay. When is appointing an executor valid? When is appointing an executor valid? He says ولا يصح إلا في معلوم. So it has to be known. Okay. يملك الموصي فعله. Al-Musa is the one who's writing the Wasiyya, the will, right? The bequest. So it has to be something that he owns, or he has authority over it. Let me rephrase that. He has authority over it at the time he's alive. كيف يعني? يعني he cannot give a Wasiyya for the executor to do something that he is not allowed to do أصلا. يعني I cannot tell him, please. Take care of the money of my 30-year-old son. The 30-year-old son, you're responsible for his wealth? No, he's responsible for his own wealth. So you cannot do that. That's an example. That's what he's trying to say here. Tamam. And then he says, so the first one, role must be clearly defined. The testator must leave clear guidelines for the executor on what to do with the wealth. Vague or undefined authority is not valid. And the wasiyah has to be clear. It should be clear so that the executor, when he sees it, okay, طبعا he would have seen it before, but when it's in front of him, he's able to do it. And then the second condition, executor must have actual authority. Yeah, the executor can only be appointed for beneficiaries who generally need oversight. If children are mukallaf and mature, the testator cannot appoint someone to manage their inheritance. They are considered owners of their own wealth. Yeah, whatever the musi, okay, the one who's about to die, who's writing the wasiyah, whatever he didn't have authority over, he cannot hand over that authority to somebody else. That's what they're trying to say here in this line. And then he says, وَمَنْ مَاتَ بِمَحَلٍ لَا حَاكِمَ فِيهِ وَلَا وَصِيٍّ فَلِمُسْلِمٍ حَوْزُ تَرِكَتِهِ وَفِعْلُ الْأَصْلَحِ فِيهَا من بيع وغيره وتجهيزه منها ومع عدمها منه. Okay. ويرجع عليها أو على من تلزمه نفقته إن نواه أو استأذن حاكما. So now he's saying, what happens now when a Muslim, okay, a person dies without a will, or a person dies and there's no hakim, okay, there's no hakim, there's nobody, and there's another Muslim there. What's your responsibility as a Muslim? That you saw another Muslim die, and he has some wealth left over. So he says, upon the Muslim is number one. So a Muslim dies in a remote location with no will and no ruler. So the responsibility of the Muslim is to secure the possessions. He dies and he's got all this gold and all this money. Secure the possessions. Okay, you have to take custody of the belongings. So technically, you are basically taking the job of the what? Of the Musa Ilayhi. You're becoming kind of like the executor. Number two, act in the best interest. Use the possessions wisely. Pay debts, cover funeral expenses, loan out funds, whatever you find best. What's in the best interest. Remember we talked about the awliya of the orphans and of those who are not financially mature yet. They're allowed to spend the money of those the young people, the orphans and the high, to the best of their knowledge, right? So they're allowed to spend to the best of their knowledge, whatever is aslah for them. Tamam? And then he says funding the funeral rites. If the deceased left nothing, the present Muslim must personally cover washing, shrouding, prayer and burial costs. That's why he says, وَتَجْهِيزُهُ مِنْهَا. If the person who died has money left, then you pay for the funeral from his money. طيب. What about if there's no? He says وَمَعَ عَدْمِهَا. And if there is no money, okay, Minhu. Minhu يعني the ha goes to who? To the guy who found, who was there. Then you will be responsible to pay for his burial. Now, two scenarios. You can either intend to do it for fi sabilillah, or you can intend to not do it fi sabilillah, or I guess you do it with the niyyah of it's a loan. كيف يعني? Then you can go ask who? The inheritors. You can go and ask the inheritors, because this is whose responsibility? It's the inheritors. But you took, you took a step and you did the right thing, because obviously you're not going to wait for these things. There's no Muslims, there's no hakim. Okay, so you can go back and claim that money. So you have to. But if you made the intention to do it fi sabilillah, then you don't have the right to go claim that money. طيب. Okay, Jamil. So with that, we are done Kitab al-Wasiyya. What time is it? 17? We're good, right? We're good. Okay, 13 plus 10. Okay, Jamil, good, perfect. So what I did here, تفضل.
We are talking about the importance of Wasiyya, and when it is the first one, the lawyer explained to me, in this country, if you die without a Wasiyya, let's say you have small kids like this, if parents pass away, so the government is going to take them and put them in they're going to place them in a family.
Foster care.
Right? Even if I have a relative, if I didn't leave a Wasiyya, she cannot get me kids. Something gives this money.
Yeah. Okay. So
if the two parents passed away and there is money, nobody can go there and take their money and take care of my body and pay my debt, because they're going to say, oh, we need the documents so that we can. So the case scenario is they're going to bury you in the cheapest way, and so a lot of problems there.
So the brother is saying that in the case where the two parents die, then you have an issue with the children. If there's young children, does the government take them? Can relatives take them? No, I think they do look for the closest relatives. Generally, the government does look for the closest relatives. Then, if there's no close relatives to claim them or who are qualified to take them, then they go to a foster care. Allahu alam, this is my knowledge of it. Money, from my understanding, if both husband and wife die, they are heavily taxed. Whatever the estate is heavily taxed, and I think heirs can claim it. But I'm not sure exactly how. That's why when we read through the Wasiyya, you have the executor, you have the in case that executor dies, another executor. You have so you try to put as much information as possible to keep yourself safe. Tamam, in any situation. Now, technically speaking, when I asked about the will, whatever you write, and you sign it, it counts as a will. If I took a tissue paper, okay, and I wrote and I signed it, I said this is a will. It's executable. Tamam. The only issue is if what I was told, if a relative comes and claims the opposite, and he claims opposite of that or different than that, then they would need legal papers. So that's why it is. So I'm going to tell you the least recommendation, the minimum for everybody should be to write this wasiyah and sign it. Have the witnesses sign it. You sign it. That's the minimum. Print it and sign it. And the safest and the best is to do it with a legal person, okay, and have it official. Whatever they do with it, notarize it. And now it's a very powerful document that you can use in court. Tamam? And if the state, the husband dies, the state goes to the wife, she still has to execute it. She has to execute it exactly what's in the wasiyah. Okay, because it's a legal document. Tamam? But what I did here,
I have a question.
تفضل.
About the maturity qualification.
About the
Maturity qualification.
تفضل نعم.
Can I say something in my will, like, if the executor is not legally fit to execute the wasiyah, for example, here, you have to be above 18. Can I say something If the executor is not of age, wait until he becomes 18 years old, then execute the wasiyah, even if it takes years, 3-4 years.
لا ما احنا we said that at the time of you writing the wasiyah, the executor has to be Rashid.
No, but بالغ. مثلا احنا عندنا في الإسلام, a person becomes بالغ at 13, 14 years old.
Okay.
It could be بالغ at 9.
Yeah, and الرشد has no age.
Yeah, والبلوغ كمان. لا, بس
No, بلوغ has in the Hanbali madhhab, you reach 15 خلاص.
15. Let's say 15 بالغ. Okay, so he meets the qualification. I can write him as an executor from an Islamic standpoint.
Jamil, as long as he's Rashid and he's
But the civil law here, he has to be 18 and above. Can I say something like, wait until the executor becomes 18, then execute my will? That's my question. So
Can you wait? Can you delay? Are you saying?
Yeah, delay.
والله مشكلة. No, that's because now you're holding people's حقوق. Because
Can't the inheritance go through? But
how are you going to give the inheritance?
Well, I'm talking about.
I know what you're talking about, because sometimes the Islamic conditions don't meet, are not aligned with the legal, with the civil, right? He's saying that I'm not sure here. What's the age of an executor? Has to be what? Is there a specific age?
Let's say, I don't know.
Anybody know? Anybody's ChatGPTing right now?
It's going to be same answer. Second person will take care of it.
I think so. And so you should make sure that one of them is that will solve you the problems. Okay. So what I have here, I don't know why it's not showing, but what I'll do is I'll exit. There we go. And I will.
18 and 19.
18 and 19. Does that work? Okay, perfect. Khalas, 18, 19.
Yeah, 19 years old.
Is that the same for smoking? So if you can smoke, you can. Is it 18 for smoking here? Nobody knows? You're telling me nobody smokes here? طيب. Bismillah, alhamdulillah. So this is the will. What I did here, I said let's have some fun with this. So I told our one of the AI sheikhs, I said make me a case study, okay? Make up some guy, okay, some Muslim guy, and fill out the form, okay? So I want to show you so this is the form. You can get this form for you don't have to use this one, but this is one that it's on our website. If you go to IISC.ca, you go to resources, you will find it there. Tamam? And we have 2 or 3 videos on our channel where Sheikh Naveed and Hash basically, and there's a lawyer, Fawaz, his name is Fawaz? Faraz, right? Yeah. It's there, right? Okay. طيب, so they're explaining kind of how you should fill out the will, some legal jargon. So it's good to watch those. They're very beneficial. So this is what it looks like. These blanks, you're supposed to fill them up. I know when you open these documents, your head's gonna spin. Oh my God, what's this? مش عارف. I don't. صح. Everybody. So.
And the language too.
The language. It's not that complicated. And actually, we can make a form. We can probably ask one of the AIs to make a form, and you just fill information, and it'll make the document for you. Like, we'll produce it for you. Inshallah, we can make it easier for everybody. I was actually working on it, and then I didn't finish it. But what I did here, we have a case study. So we have the will of Yusuf Ibrahim al-Rashidi. This person, I don't think he exists. I don't know if he, okay. So let's read about this person. So Yusuf Ibrahim al-Rashidi is a 52-year-old Muslim businessman residing at 742 Millrise Point, Southwest, Calgary. Does that exist? I don't know if it exists. Okay, he has a wife.
Well, there's a place called Millrise, yeah.
Okay, khalas. So they took it from Calgary. He has a wife, 3 adult children, and 2 minor children. Okay, so just remember the details. We'll bounce back and forth. On March 17th, 2025, being of sound mind and memory, he signs his last will and testament before 3 witnesses. Tamam? So I wrote here for you, this is Article 1 and Article 2. So when you go here, Article 1, tamam, this is what you're going to fill out. So in Article 1, so now, when we go here to Article 1, Jamil. So first of all, you're going to say, I, Yusuf Ibrahim al-Rashidi, okay, presently residing at 742 Millrise Point, Southwest. So you're going to do the same for yours, tamam, okay. City of Calgary, province of Alberta, being of sound mind and memory, okay. And then the rest is written for you. The preamble here is just talks about Islam. I bear witness that you're Muslim, everything, and then the rules of Islam and Sharia. You can read through that. So Article 1, okay, this is what we're talking about. Okay, so it says here, I ordain that no autopsy or, so here it talks about the autopsy and some ethics about Islam and what to do with the body, etc. I hereby nominate and appoint Ahmed al-Rashidi resigning. So now we're appointing, okay, the funeral executor. So we have here the funeral executor, and then here we have the backup funeral executor. Okay, we have here the estate executor, we have the backup executor. Okay, Al-Musa Ilayhi, right? And then we have the guardian for the minors and the backup guardian. This was the question about guardian for the minors. You know, if, in case something happens, both parents are gone, or maybe it's a single parent. Okay, so we have Ahmed al-Rashidi, he's the brother, this is his address, he's the funeral executor. The backup is Imam Khalid Mansour, I guess. There's no other, so he's the local Muslim community president of the IISC. Sure, okay. That's we're going to fill up in Article 1. So in Article 1 here, let's go to the empty one. I'm going to fill it up right here. Okay, I'm going to fill up that information. Okay, to execute these and other necessary provisions. So here we're going to write what? The executor. Okay, who's the executor we said? Who's the executor? Ahmed al-Rashidi. So when we go to the one that's filled out, the AI filled this up for me, by the way. So we're going to go to this one. It says, I hereby nominate and appoint Ahmed al-Rashidi, residing at 189 Sundance Close, Southeast, to execute these and other necessary provisions, blah, blah, blah. Okay. And he fills up the information. And then Imam Khalid Mansour, in the event that, Ahmed, something happens to Ahmed. طيب, let's keep going. So the next thing that we have to fill up is, you can read these points. It just talks about some Islamic, executor and guardian. Okay, to be the executor of this will. Okay, so that one was for the funeral, right? And this is for the actual will, the executor of the will. Okay, who's our executor of the will?
By the way, do you need to take the permission from the executor before, or can you just sign his name?
You're asking Islamically or like legally? He has to sign it. So, I think he has to sign it.
But the executor has to sign it.
I think so.
Just the name and the information. It doesn't have to sign.
The legal answer I don't know, but the fiqh answer, the Islamic answer. Do you have to let do you have to let the executor know? Allahu a'lam. It was the author didn't mention. Do you have to let him know?
If the executor doesn't even know there's a will.
طبعا that's the logic. So the logic is if the executor doesn't know.
Find out when the will comes out.
لا يا شيخ استنى. Everybody breathe. Okay.
I have an example.
Back in the day, okay, if the executor doesn't know he's the executor, how is he going to know? There's a way to know. مثلا the relatives will give it to him or somebody close to him. Sure, okay, he wrote it down. But I think logically it makes sense. Shar'an, do you have to let them know? I don't think so. I don't think there's anything that says that you have to let them know. Okay?
حتى في التوكيل لما اعمل توكيل في حياتي لشخص اخر مش لازم ابلغ انه عملت له توكيل.
Technically, yeah. So Allah A'lam, I don't think you have to let them know. I don't think you have to let them know. طيب, let's continue with the so Article 2 here. I want to make sure we're on the same one. Yeah. So Article 2. So who's Maryam here? Yeah. So Maryam is the estate executor. Okay. So here where it says I hereby nominate and appoint the estate executor and guardian. So I'm going to appoint Maryam. Okay. So I filled out Maryam al-Rashidi al-Hassan, presently residing at 55 Elbow Drive, to be the executor of this my last will and testament. In the event that she will be unwilling, to act as executor, I nominate. This is the second person, Umar Zafar, right? Umar Zafar is right here. So he's the backup executor. So now you have the main one and the backup. Jamil, he lives in Acadia, mashallah, somewhere here. Cool. Okay, what's next? Next we have The guardian. Okay, so now we need the guardian. The main guardian is Tariq. Okay, and this is wife's brother, and he lives in 88 Douglasdale. And then Ahmed al-Rashidi is going to be the backup guardian. Ahmed is the same one as the funeral executor type. So we're going to go here. I'm going to fill that up. Okay, easy. Okay, easy. We're going to fill that out. Or just get your AI to do it if you're too lazy. Type Article 3, debts and expenses. There's nothing really to fill out there. Type. Now the charitable contributions and so here, this is where, look what Ahmed al-Rashidi did. Or afwan, what Yusuf Ibrahim al-Rashidi did. He said, the charity, what he wanted to do with the Wasiyya, is he said that I want to give, look, he said I was going to give 1/10, 1/10, and 1/20. So 1/10 to Al-Ansar Islamic Foundation. I didn't pick this, I picked this, okay? And he gave 1/10 to the IISC, and he gave 1/20 to some orphan relief fund Canada. I don't know what that is, type. So in total, he gave how much? 25%. Is that below or above the Wasiyya percentage? Below, so it's good. So this is good. So this is what he decided to give. Okay, this is what he decided to give. So we're going to go to our form in this portion here. And you can name of person or organization. Okay, put the name, percentage, in number, and then in words. That's it. Exactly the way the AI did it here. Again, I didn't do this, the AI did it. So look, Al-Ansar Islamic Foundation, 10%, and then he wrote 10%. هذا هو. خلاص. These AIs are going to make us very ignorant. 10 years, we're not going to be able to write anything. طيب. Jamil, and that's pretty much it. I think that's pretty much it. There's not much. And then there's the signatures. Yeah, there's the witness. You write the date for the witnesses. Okay.
So in this one, is there like anything about the kids? Who take care of them and stuff like that?
We mentioned the gardens. Yeah, we put the gardens. Yeah, you missed them. The gardens are right here. We have because we have 2 minors. Remember, he has 2 minors. So Tariq is the main guardian, and then if something happens to Tariq, Ahmed is the second guardian.
Does this template touch on inheritance as well?
Yeah. So there's a whole section here. If you read, هون, Mawarith, the Islamic distribution of the state, and it mentions all of them. So now the executor will be able to give exactly everybody. يعني their portion. طبعا the portions are mentioned all here. But anyways, you just put them on a website, or you go to an imam, or you put it in an AI, it'll give you exactly the portions.
And it's generic, meaning like
This is general. It'll give you the... Yeah, for anyone. Someone will have to do the math. Okay, the executor will have to do the math. He will take this. What's left here from the estate? 75%. So he gave 25% to those organizations. So what's left, the remaining 75%, distributed exclusively to Muslim heirs in strict accordance with Schedule A. So we're going to go to Schedule A here, okay, which is this one. I'm with you guys, and I haven't. There we go. Yeah, Schedule A. This is Schedule A. So he's saying here that, according to Schedule A, the Islamic law of inheritance. Okay. Yeah, and again, we said all debts. This is Article 3. We didn't have to fill up anything, but it mentions that all debts and expenses have to be paid before the Wassiyah and the right. And then he has the witnesses. The witnesses sign. خلاص. Everyone's happy. So this is all the information about the inheritance. We will study this, by the way, inshallah, in the next 2-3 weeks. Okay. There's some more details. You should read them. I don't have time to go through all of them. I think, we're good. Okay, we're good. The signature should be there by the executor. You can have here notarized, and that would be like I said, this is the safest thing to do, is to do it with a legal person and have it notarized. So it's an official document. Jamil. طيب. So that's it. And again, this document is available on our website. You go to IISC.ca resources, and you will find the will there. You can watch an instruction video. You can watch this one. I think that was pretty self-explanatory. How to fill it up. But that's the information that you need basically. This information here, okay? And if you really يعني have no clue what to do, like I said, just take advantage of the AIs, take the form, put it in, and tell him what do I need, and then he'll tell you need this, and then give him that, and then tell him put it into the form. خلاص, he will put it for you, and then just make sure, just obviously check everything, okay? Check the spelling, check the and then it should be fine. بإذن الله. And then sit with a lawyer, and then give him $10 to breathe. اتفضل, he had a question first.
So do we have to put percentages and numbers, or like we can put it like as like على شرع الله
في المواريث
according to Islamic law?
You're talking about the will or the inheritance?
The will.
Do you have to put percentages for the will? No, you can put specific things. You can put specific things in the will. The only person you cannot give specific things to is the slave. He has to get a portion because he cannot own. If you give him a specific thing, he can't own it. Okay? Before someone says you're racist or discrimination. No, because he can't own it. Shar'an, يعني, he can't own it. But everybody else you can. I can say $500 for my cousin Muhammad, and $300 for my cousin Fatima, and you can do that, or you can put portions.
ما الحكم الشرعي على الموصى إليه الذي لا ينفذ الوصية؟
What's the hukum on the executor, Musa Ilayhi, that does not fulfill the?
That doesn't execute the وصية as it's written. Can
طيب, يعني obviously it's
through them,
or shar'an or like here civil. Of course, I mean the يعني people can take him to court, to the hakim or to the qadi, and طبعا it's a major sin. If he has no excuse, it's a major sin. If he has an excuse, that's something else. He got sick or.
What if he says, you know what, I'm not going to execute anything, you guys deal with it. I don't have anything to do with this.
Okay, it goes to the second person.
Second executor.
Yeah, and now the second executor does the same thing, صح? It goes to the hakim.
So
And in Islamic, the qadi, yeah, it's gonna go to Bayt al, the qadi is gonna deal with it, and he's gonna execute it. But there's a wasiyya, so the dawla, the state will execute it for him because there's a wasiyya. Maybe they'll have to pay a fee from the estate for somebody to do it, because it's a lot of work.
if a wasiyah doesn't have an executor, what happens in this case? If I write down
If a wasiyya does not have an executor,
who executes them, the government, like the dawla,
so here, if a husband dies, it goes to the wife. If the wife dies, it goes to the husband.
from Islamic perspective.
If it doesn't have an executor, it goes to the qadi, I think. Who else would get it? Yeah, go to the qadi. Yeah.
So it wouldn't be considered invalidated because he did not.
لا لا هو حقه. This is his money. In an Islamic state, this is the money of يعني his money and the heirs, right? If there's a wasiyah, it will be executed. If there's no executor, the hakim will find, the judge, the qadi will find someone, and they might pay a fee for that from the estate. Okay, we mentioned last time that there might be a fee for actually executing the wasiyah, right? There's a lot of running around, whatever, transferring money. Some people are in different countries. Some things have to be sold, and you have to get a real estate agent. I don't know. There's a bunch of things that have to happen. Wallahu a'lam. Any other questions? Tfaddal. Yeah.
Can the executor and guardian from the family?
Can the
Executor and the guardian from the family.
shabab. Can the executor and the guardian be?
From your family member, like from your parents, children, or your brothers, or whoever is.
You're saying, can the executor and the guardian be from your family?
Yeah, that's what my question is.
Yeah, that's fine.
No, here you show the friend's name or outsider's name.
No, that's fine. The executor, because it has nothing to do with inheritance.
Okay, so anyone from the family then can be the executor.
Anybody that has those conditions can be your executor. They said Muslim, so he has to be a Muslim. He has to be mature and sane, and he has to be financially mature, and he's just. Right? As anybody, your sister, your mom, your whatever. Yeah. Quiet, everybody. Naam? It doesn't mention. Does he have to be? But he says sane. As long as he's sane, everybody's going to be grieving. Yani. Sometimes the furthest relative is grieving more than the closest one, and it's possible. So we can't put that as a condition. It doesn't make sense. طيب, so alhamdulillah, we finished al-Wasiyya. Hopefully you guys found that beneficial. You can watch this video if you want to go through how to fill it. Bi-idhnillah, next week we will start Kitab al-Fara'id. Inshallah, the inheritance rules. Bi-idhnillah ta'ala. I'm not sure if we'll be able to finish it. طيب, we'll talk about it inshallah. طيب, جزاكم الله خيرا. والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. Let's do that.